host of the Gridiron.
Right? Zach Pascal. Nothing super duper spectacular here. Right? Right? He has a little bit of special teams to him. Let me see if, okay. Let me get rid of this here and share the screen. Where is he at? I got 3,000 tabs open up here. Nope. There he is. Okay, let's share the screen here. All right, so the man with the big smile there, Mr. Pascal. All right, you'll notice last year. Now, this is, I mean, he did not play much last season, okay, with the Cardinals on offense. You'll notice here he played a grand total of 69 snaps. Or is this a special team? No, this is it. That was 69 snaps. 44.3, right? The season grades here. Nothing super duper spectacular. He had a couple of seasons that were in the beginning with Indianapolis where he played a bunch, like 800 snaps here in 2019, almost 600 snaps in 2018, 2020, 900 snaps, 2021, almost 900 snaps, and his snaps have been going down. When he was in Philadelphia in 2022, he had 405. In the last 2 years in Arizona, he's hardly been used at all on the offensive side, okay? But you'll notice, I mean, this is just nothing super duper spectacular. According to PFF, his grades. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking here right now. Pro Football Reference. Let's see. In 2020 was his biggest. He had 44 receptions for 629 yards. Now, touchdowns, he does have, he can get in the end zone. He's had 169 receptions. He has 16 touchdowns. So basically, 1 out of every 10 times he touches the ball, he catches the ball, he scores a touchdown. So that's not too bad. He does have a little bit here, all right, as far as special teams. I know last year he played a little bit. Special teams for the Cardinals last year. What do we got? 277 snaps. Okay. Now, once again, Cardinals, this was last year, 2024. Okay, last year, 2024 with Arizona. Special teams. Okay, 277 snaps. Now, it looks like he played in like almost every game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Week 11 might have been their bye. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He graded out at 86, which is phenomenal. Special teams. Okay. Now, I'm not exactly sure, because a lot of his grades are in the 60s and the 70s. I'm not sure how he got the 86. I mean, his 92.4 is pretty good, but let's see. What do you have down here? I mean, these grades are very good as well, too. These are his season grades. Special teams. Last season, he graded out at 86. 2023 with the Cardinals, 201 snaps, 72.7, which you grade out in the 70s on special teams. That's very, very good. With the Eagles, he was 292, almost 300 snaps, special teams with the Eagles in 2022, graded out as 66. 2021 is last year with Indianapolis. He graded out 66.1, which is still very good. 2020, the COVID year, he was only in 50 snaps. He graded out a 70. So, he, once again, another good player on special teams. All right, back here. All right, so, maybe not much in the way of offensive production, but another good player on special teams. Good stats, yeah. All in all, the team must stay reasonably. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just like every year we just get banged up, all kinds, just injured. I mean, as I said, one of the things you look at, I mean, I always compare a lot of times the Giants with the Eagles. You look at the Eagles, I mean, we had like, I forgot what it was. I can't remember. We had like almost twice as many guys injured as they did. They had like 28 or 29 guys or something like that. And that included like the playoffs. or it was like 30 or 31 or something like that, guys who actually had injury designations. That means like throughout the season. And some of them was like the last game of the season, like when they rested Saquon Barkley or something, and some of the guys they just had out. But the Eagles, if you look at like their injuries, right, like last season, including they had what? They had 3 playoff games, right? 3? I think it was 3 playoff games, and the Super Bowl. So they played 4 more games than the Giants did, but they had like 30 less guys, 25 guys or 30 less guys who had injury designations throughout the season. It was unbelievable. It's like, how are you supposed to? I mean, if the Eagles had the injuries the Giants had, they're not going to the Super Bowl. That's not happening, right? I mean, the Giants had 10 different starting offensive line units. The Eagles, that didn't happen with the Eagles. The Giants had 4 quarterbacks. That didn't happen with the Eagles. Now, the Eagles might have had a couple quarterbacks in, but that's because they rested Hurts or something like that or whatever, or they were up 812-0 in one game. The Giants had to have 4 quarterbacks because like injuries, right? Had plenty of healthy scratches. Yeah. I know. I remember the last game against the Giants, they had some healthy scratches because they weren't starting these players. I mean, you look like Mekhi Becton. He missed 1 game last year for the Eagles. When he was with the Jets, that's all he was injured. I remember the first game, I can't remember what season it was, but the first game of the season, he got injured for the Jets. The first game, first quarter or something like that. He missed all season. He goes there with the Eagles. He plays all season. Look at Saquon Barkley. He gets 3,442 touches. They hand him the ball 1,800 times every game. Doesn't even have a toenail. Doesn't even have an Ingram. Doesn't have nothing. Doesn't have jock itch, nothing. We put him with the Giants. He runs the ball, a decent amount. Injuries. Doesn't have with the Eagles. He ran for 75 million yards last year with the Eagles. Oh, he's good to go. It's like, how's that happen? Could be. I mean, some of it obviously could be the Eagles are on grass. Giants aren't. So. But I mean, the injuries are they just kill you. I mean, especially in the beginning of the season, like our offensive line, the first 4 or 5 games, whatever it was, we pretty much had like the same offensive line in there, and we did decent, right? But then the wheels started falling off. Guys started getting injured left and right, and we had like 10 different starting offensive line units, which I think was tied for the most in the NFL. And just you can't. It's hard to win like that. It's not like the guys you would put in are horrible or whatever, but you're putting guys in that aren't used to playing with one another, and they got to be like a unit. You got to know the strengths and weaknesses of each guy, right? So I mean, it's nothing can short circuit your season faster than injuries, and unfortunately with the Giants, it's like every year injuries. It's just too much. Oh, I know. Well, that's the thing. I could see them, right, giving up on Neal. Get out of here. We don't want you. And he'll go some. I mean, I could see the Eagles picking him up, putting him in a guard, and he being very good. I could see that. I could see that just like that. Absolutely. I mean, that would be such a slap in the face if the Giants gave up on him, pick number 7 in the draft, let him go, and somebody else brings him in. Right? I can see that. I'd hate to see him give up on him. I mean, according to PFF, he was our best run blocker last year. He graded out at like an 80, I think it was. He still had problems pass blocking because he's got problems with guys, the edge rushers and all of that seems to have problems with, they can either bend around him with the speed of him or whatever, he has a hard time with them. But put the dude in the phone booth where he's 6'7", I think it is, something. He's like 340, 350. Put him in a phone booth where he's man on man, a defensive tackle and him. Boom, mano a mano, right? Of course, the other defenses would try to do stunts and twists and all that stuff to try to confuse him. But, if he's going up against a defensive tackle most of the time, right? And it's just a defensive, they're just trying to one-on-one. I mean, he's not going to get beat as badly as if with these edge rushers. I mean, I don't know. I would have a hard time grasping that concept. if they would just let him go and they never tried him in a guard. I would just have a hard time grasping that. Yeah, inside. Because you figure we got Illuminor for at least this season. We got Thomas, right? We got Runyon Jr. and we got Schmitz. Basically, it's the right guard position. And if you bring him in, you put him in there right guard, let him battle it out with Van Roten and some of these other guys, right? Let the best man win. If Neil wins at guard, well, there you go. You got your guard for the foreseeable future, right? There's only his 4th season coming up. I mean, man, if he turns out to be a good guard, I mean, he's only his 4th season coming up. If he can be the guard, I mean, now you're looking. You got your guard hopefully years to come. You got Andrew Thomas if he can stay healthy. You got maybe Michael Schmitz as your center. You got Nevin Neal as your guard. So yeah, I'd feel. Man, I just if they don't try him in a guard, I don't know. See, that's what I think the Washington did that with Eric Flowers, right? We let him go. He was a tackle. I heard stories he didn't want to play guard. He wasn't going to play. I heard stories like I have no idea, but all I know is we really didn't try him in a guard. Well, toward the end of his career, he was playing guard for the Redskins. I think it was the Redskins. It could have been Washington football team, whatever it was, but they had him in a guard, and he did pretty good. So, I don't know. Just don't know. But what do we got here? Bam, Pascal. Zach Pascal. According to reports, now this is from a couple of days ago. I've agreed to terms with Zach Pascal pending a physical. He's 6'2", nice size, 215 pounds. Spent time with the Commanders in 2017, the Titans in 2017, the Colts, the Eagles, and the Cardinals. The veteran wide receiver has played in 112 games, 47 starts, scored 169 passes with 2,057 yards and 16 touchdowns. He's also returned 26 kickoffs for 597 yards, a 23-yard average. The 30-year-old has played in 6 postseason games, 3 with the Colts and 3 with the Eagles, and totaled 8 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. Pascal put back-to-back campaigns with 40-plus receptions, 600 receiving yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns for the Colts in 2019 and 20. Prior to the NFL, Pascal played at Old Dominion, where he played in 49 games with 41 starts. He finished with 233 receptions, which is a school record, for 3,184 yards and 30 touchdowns. So, I mean, the guy, he doesn't catch a ton of passes, but when he does, he has a good chance of getting in the end zone, along with an additional 310 yards and 1 touchdown via the ground game from Old Dominion. In his final 2 campaigns with the Monarchs, he registered 1,090-plus scrimmage yards and 9 touchdowns each season. Both years resulted in him being named second-team All-Conference USA. His 1,549 all-purpose yards as a junior were in a single-season school record. So, he had 2 back-to-back really nice seasons, 2019 and 2020 with the Colts. 2019, 41 receptions, 607 yards receiving, 14.8 yards of reception. 2020, 44 receptions, 629 yards, 14.3 yards of reception. And both those years, he had 5 touchdown catches. So, yeah. But once again, so somebody who can certainly come in, catch the ball, but also can give you a lot on special teams. Giants return to using the fullback position. Yes, Flowers was better at guard. I think he would. Oh, I'm all for using the fullback. The problem is that, when you put a fullback in, now you got to take a wide receiver off the field. So that's one of the problems there. You have to be more like it's like you have to be like that kind of mindset. Obviously, unless like you're talking down at the goal line or 4th and 1 or something like that. We certainly could use though. It's nice having a heavy package and all of that stuff. We bring in 13 tackles. We put all the tackles on it. That's great. But it's also nice too, right? Turning around, handing the ball off to somebody, a big mofo, also with a big mofo in front of them blocking, right? Running, just plowing people over. And then you got like a Brandon Jacobs or something like that, 6'4", 6'5", 240, 250, running the football. You know what I mean? We've had nothing but small backs for so long. I mean, we've had a lot of problems, even with Saquon, right? You know, it's 4th and 1. You know, who are we going to turn to? You know, Tyrone Tracy. What's he going to do? Run guys over? I mean, we don't put it. We put a back. Who we put in there to block for? It's what we got? A fullback who can get that too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah, because I mean it's nice because that's the one thing, because you don't want Giants brought a fullback in. I guess what they're going to do, huh? Are they going to run the ball, huh? That's one thing you don't want. You don't want that, right? Okay, they brought so and so in, but he's a good receiver too. Ooh, better keep an eye on that. It's 3rd and 1. Well, they might try to run it, or because you bring a fullback in, you got to take a wide receiver off the field, right? But you don't want to bring a fullback in and the other team. I've seen all their game film. They bring a fullback in, they're running the ball. You don't want that. If you can bring a fullback in who catch the ball in the backfield, that's good. So. But yeah, I mean, I'm always all for it. The thing is it's like with all these dime packages and nickel packages and this and that, and they only can address, I think, 46 players. So all those guys, if you bring a fullback in there and that's all he can do, it's like, unless, the guy's got to be has to be really good on special teams too, because you just can't have one guy. I'm just a fullback. What else do you do? I'm just a fullback. You play special teams. I'm just a fullback. You can't have that. It's like what you said, right? You got to have a fullback who can block, who can catch, who can play special teams. Unfortunately, I guess there's a couple good fullbacks out there in the league, sure, but it's not that. You gotta get them. You gotta be able to find those guys. Oh yeah, yep, fullback. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, well, we've had some good ones over the years, absolutely, sure. But Rhinosky, right? But you got to find those guys, and of course, but also you got to have the coach is going to want to have that too. Some guys would rather, we could run the ball with a fullback, or we can put an extra wide receiver out there. Some guys are just in today's day and age, they're all like, gung ho with the passing game and all that stuff, and and it's kind of like, I mean, it is really nice being able to do that 4th and 1 lineup and just be able to, like the way the Eagles do a tush push kind of thing, right? But I said, but some coaches just look at that position. I got a fullback, and all those other positions, all the other 46 players. I mean, they're so valuable. So for guys just to be able to put one guy in there for a fullback is just some coaches I don't think want to do that, be wasted. But so a lot of that thing obviously has to do with the coach. So.